I got it working
home
again.
here.
I
Alright.
cleared it.
Yeah.
I cleared off my printer
Yeah.
and put it back on.
Uh-huh.
And had the printer right next to my computer on my kitchen table.
Right.
And we're all good. I want to see, and when I tried to upgrade,
Right.
it wouldn't do it. It said,
Alright.
it said it can't carry it.
Okay, so what we want to do is move my keys here. Turn it on, see what it does. I don't think I've worked on this machine before. Your last computer
Yeah,
was
you did. You loaded it.
All right, let's see. Let's turn it on and see what. Oh wait, this looks like a Mac.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
an Acer.
Right.
But it doesn't have that much memory. I have everything on my removable hard drive.
Got it.
And when I play with it, I put everything in there.
So you said you want to upgrade from 10 to 11?
Well, no, just check the upgrades for 10.
Oh, it's not updating the periodic updates.
Right.
Got it. Okay, so let's log in.
Everybody I know that has 11 hates it.
Got it. It's cosmetic. They decided to move things like the start menu that hadn't changed in so many decades.
Oops, I hit it twice. Let's try again.
Let's just see what we're. Yeah, this computer's been before here because been here before because I could already see it's on the Wi-Fi.
Right.
All right. Okay, so let's see how this behaves. Wow, that was a pretty day.
You want to use this?
No, I actually.
Okay.
Let's.
No mouse, huh?
Yeah, don't need it. This touchpad is not as horrid as some of them are.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here. We're already online. What do you do on this thing? Just poke around, right? You don't have anything special.
No, no. I thought when it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, I thought maybe I missed an upgrade and it did things. I don't know.
Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so does it give you an error message or does it just not happen?
Well, it'll give you an error message saying that it's not, when you go to load it in there,
Okay, let's do a few of these down here. You have a hand. They've built up, so you have a few pending. Let's see here. Optional updates. Let's see if you have any driver updates. Okay, yeah, so you have your hard drive, or your SSD hard drive has a driver update available to it. Your touchpad has that one doesn't want to click. Can I see your mouse? Yeah.
you're in.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, that's weird. It's not clicking. The whole machine. Oh, there we go. Well, oh, that is weird. Yeah, the whole machine is behaving in a weird kind of. Let's start over.
I don't think it loves me anymore.
Okay, set. That's weird. Your touchpad. Okay, let's. You know what? This mouse pad, I could just feel this touchpad. I mean, your mouse is starting to fail. There's no spring left. The springiness is.
I got another one.
No, I have mine.
Okay.
We're gonna use mine.
You want to plug it in right here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull this baby out.
Right. You know what? Let's use this one here. All right. Here, hold the microphone for me.
Sure.
Playing with my audio options here. All right.
There you go.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see how this works.
Okay.
Got it. All right. So what we're gonna do is click on that up. Oh yeah, see. Yeah, there's something wrong with the left click on that mouse. That was weird.
Okay, good. It's Margot's old one. Now I'm going to use mine.
It's ready to retire. It's
It's going in the recycle bin.
yeah. Now I can click. Okay, let's just do some of these updates.
Okay.
I want to see. I have to see things not work. So, have you been doing these updates manually, or did they just?
I thought it does it automatically.
Right.
Boy, was I wrong, huh?
Well, it's a laptop, and if it's not on at 3 a.m. when the default time is if they happen, it doesn't happen.
Okay.
And midday, the computer is smart enough to figure if you're touching it, it's not going to do it because you're busy. So basically, you have to tell it not to go to sleep, and it has to be on when the updates are set to happen automatically. You can manipulate that time, but if it happens when it's busy, it won't happen either. So
You know, I leave it plugged in with power,
Right.
but it's asleep. That's the
Right.
part I don't do.
got it. Yeah, if it's asleep, these updates will never happen. And a lot of people with a laptop, if it's set to go to sleep in 5 or 10 minutes, it'll never happen because it takes more than 5 or 10 minutes to do some of these updates anyway.
Okay.
And the brilliant programming that's done at Microsoft, they don't have the common sense to turn off the sleep function to do certain things.
Okay.
So
So my question to you is, how do I turn it off?
to turn it off, you can do the start button right there and then go to shutdown, or the power button here.
Right.
Right now, you don't have it set to turn off when you touch that start button, but that's easy to turn off or
No,
flip.
I always turn it off here.
Yeah, that's fine. If you
So-
can turn it, the most reliable way to turn it off is to use the start
I
button
do.
and then do shut down.
But how do I do it where I leave it on, where it doesn't go to sleep?
Oh, yeah, we can do that too. So that's in the control panel, and I can show you.
Because I've never really done it.
Right.
You know, if it, I just let it go to sleep sometimes, but most of the time I turn it off. I'll go right over there,
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
and then a lot of times I'll leave it plugged in, and I'll say, say you want to upgrade. I'll put yes, and I'll plug
Right.
it into the power and walk away from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it goes to sleep, it won't happen. So what happens
So
is
that's what I've been doing
right,
wrong.
right.
So
yeah.
I've been thinking I was doing it right when I wasn't doing that thing.
Well, if you don't know how the sleep function works, and by putting it to sleep, it can't function.
Right.
I mean, technically.
Okay. Well, this is good.
So it's restarting. It's going to do a few updates.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Do we have the power for this thing?
Yeah.
I didn't
got
even.
it right
I
here.
wasn't even paying attention to the
I
power.
got it right here.
In fact, this is an important. This is called a firmware update. I want to make sure it doesn't lose power
Okay.
because you can kill it.
Okay.
And the power's over here. I'm going to have to plug it in over here.
Okay. Here we go. There.
All right. Here, hold the mic again. Look important. Look like a professional. All right.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is me.
All right. So, we're waiting on a firmware update, which is a part of the Windows updates. And yeah, these Windows updates happen maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. And that helps make the machine more reliable, and on occasion it gives you a few more new fancy features, the sort of updates most people don't appreciate because no one likes change.
Okay, one of the things that I was going to ask you is, how do you defrag this, or does it defrag itself?
That's the old days. This is an SSD.
Okay.
So
'cause
yeah, the new
I had
drives.
somebody go, did you defrag it? I go,
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah, defrag is no longer something I would recommend doing. Technically, there are utilities that are still available, but the SSDs are the new technology where there are no more moving parts in the drive, and the technology is just
Okay.
it fixes, it maintains itself. It's sort of like fuel injection on a modern car. There's no more carburetor adjustment to speak of.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know, and that's why that was my big question to you
Right.
for the day.
Right. Got it.
And sleepy time is the other one going to be. That's
Right.
it.
Got it.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, so this is just a maintenance update. It looks like the updates are happening. You just didn't know how to access them to push them through,
Okay.
which is good news because you're not here for a fix of any sort.
No.
It's
no.
just an update.
No, when I went to update, I went, no, you can't do it.
Right. Oh, the other thing, some of these updates don't happen if you're not plugged in because like this particular update, it's called a firmware update. And now, actually, this did update before it was plugged in, but some of these updates specifically. Oh, that's yeah. So
That's
it
why I
is
said when I go to bed at night or whatever, I'll plug it in and I'll go ahead and do
Right.
it. But it doesn't. It shuts it off.
So it's a bigger update that
Right.
can't happen because it's set to go to sleep in 5 minutes probably.
Yeah.
But I think I keep interrupting myself. It needs to be plugged in for some updates to happen, and other updates, even if it is plugged in, it needs at least 40 or 50% battery. Yeah, so if it's a low battery, even if it's plugged in, some of these firmware updates specifically won't happen.
Well, you know.
Well, there you go. Valorant tour. Yes, now you see what I'm up to. I'm a full-time tech shop. I film the conversations. I film the work. I have a shop here in Redondo Beach, California, and I'm here with my friend Halt. All we're doing is some system updates. I do encourage you to use and abuse me and get your free questions answered here. Or if you want to chime in and be a part of the conversation, you're invited. Thank you for showing up. There's the camera. All right. So, yeah, see, he's in our chat right here.
Oh, okay.
He's randomly surfing on YouTube, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, so he knows we're live. If you go to YouTube, this is us.
I do.
Yeah, so you go to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see me.
I will, because I've been watching Bad Chad.
Yeah, who's that? I don't know them.
Bad Chad works on cars. He's
All right.
He lives in Canada.
Yeah.
And he takes old cars and cuts them up and turns them into really cool things.
Yeah.
So it's better than watching television.
Yeah, well, YouTube, I think part of the cool thing about YouTube, most of the content I watch is not super polished.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
This guy's homegrown.
yeah, because, well, think about it. You're a car guy. You got Jay Leno.
Yeah.
He's got his CNBC offering, totally polished.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also got Jay Leno's Garage, which is more homegrown. Even though he's top dog
Oh, man.
and great at what he does, it's just a little more homegrown. It's not polished to the point where the scriptedness is what I'm talking
Oh
about.
no! If you watch Bad Chad, you'll laugh your head off. You don't even have to care about cars. You'll like
Right.
it.
Yeah, there's certain personality types I like,
Yeah.
even if I'm not really interested in whatever their content is.
Well, you're kind of like a Bad Chad in here, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm kind of an offbeat dude. Cool. Log in. We're going to do some more updates. Or do your password. Go ahead and type your password. Yeah, I started filming myself, well, technically 2 years ago, but I've been more interested in doing this in the last 4 months just because of this office. This office has been where I've actually had enough room to set up a more presentable set. The last office was too small.
Yeah.
So, all right, I want to watch you do your updates, just so you don't necessarily need me.
Okay.
You can use your mouse if you want to. I was just having
this
trouble
is
with
fine.
it.
It's
All right,
fine. A mouse is a mouse is a mouse to me.
right.
So I'm gonna go
Start button.
here,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go to
The little
here.
settings. Yes.
Come on. And then it goes to here, and they have updates.
The
on here.
last icon on the bottom. So
Yeah.
scroll to the bottom.
Right. It goes all the way down to
Yeah.
security updates and security.
Scroll down more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, I
Updates
heard
and
that.
security. Yes.
Yeah, we go to that, click, and that's where I go. And
Yeah,
that's when I found I didn't know what I was doing.
It's all right. So I don't know why it wasn't happening. I don't think what I've just described about the battery or the battery life as being your issue. So I don't know why it actually didn't happen.
It said that this computer doesn't have the capacity.
Oh, that was the Windows update specifically.
Oh, okay.
Windows 11. So Windows 10 is still valid for another 2 years.
Right. That's why I don't want to
Right.
lose it for
Yeah.
2 years.
So your Windows updates for Windows 10 are what need to be installed. Windows 11, this is okay. You got stuck because you didn't realize what it was telling you to do. This PC does not meet current minimum
Right.
requirements.
That's
So that's the update you don't have to worry about. Windows 10 updates are what you want.
right.
So just do the optional updates. Looks like your trackpad has an update available. And then when some of these updates, because Microsoft is lazy, they don't put them all in the right order, and they're prerequisites, or you have successive updates that become available once you do the prerequisites for them.
Okay.
So that's why if you do some updates, you restart the computer, you might not be done even if you think you are. Because you
Okay.
think if you just did the updates, then why would you bother? So you still need to check one more time
To
because,
see if it's done. So
Right.
after you're all done, do it again.
yes,
Okay.
until it no longer has
All right.
any available.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a question. To
Yeah.
you.
Go ahead.
Do you have heat in here, or is it just ambient?
Yeah, I have a heater and an air
okay.
conditioner.
Because
I haven't.
was gonna say this is nice in here. I'm in shorts and it feels good in your place.
Well, we're upstairs again.
Yeah.
Being upstairs, the advantage is you collect the
guy
heat from
downstairs is
downstairs.
heating
Yeah.
you in your room. All
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But the air conditioner works. When we
Yeah.
had our heat wave a couple months ago, it was working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks like you have your whole crew you had before.
I closed down my old storage facility. That's why that clutter is over there in the
yeah.
corner.
Well, you know what? That's a real waste of money.
Yeah, the storage, hundreds of dollars a month for.
Well, you know what they say about storage places?
If it's there, then you need to really just get rid of that crap.
They say that's for hoarders
Yeah.
and procrastinators.
Right.
Which one are you?
Well, or I was sort of a hoarder, yeah. But I mean, I am basically a minimalist.
Yeah, me too.
And these are tools. Oh, do you know anyone who wants some old stereo speakers?
Uh-uh.
All right, because those are on offer up, but I haven't had any takers.
Well, you know what everybody's gone to are those little ones about this big that you
Right.
hook up to your phone, and they sound great.
Yeah, well, you and I know. I grew up with that giant vintage 1970s stereo.
I know. You remember your house? I went over there and helped you with
Yeah.
something over there, and I'm going to tell you what, they sounded good.
Yeah, well, that's why that 70s hardware still reigns king. You can still plug in modern hardware like Sonos.
Yep.
Yeah. I just haven't bothered to plug that in since I got this office.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is I have an old Bose system. I got it in the 80s.
Yeah.
No, it's in the 90s because I moved in.
Yeah.
All right, in the 90s. And I wanted to change out my amps and everything.
Right.
And I have the little cubes in there. And they
Oh, yeah,
are
the
programmed to the
Acustamats, yeah.
They're programmed to the subwoofer, and nothing will work there except Bose.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You might as well throw them away
Yeah.
if you don't have an amp.
Yeah, Bose was one of those oddball companies.
Yeah, they really did.
They don't publish specs.
Nope.
They make equalizers that are specific for their speakers, and then Yep. But they are very good. But because they did things like direct reflecting was their thing,
Yeah.
they wanted you to put their speaker in an exact space against the wall, so that they could use the wall to reflect the sound, and your speaker the wall became part of the system.
Well, I hooked up. I had one of them Bose. What were they? The radio.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
The Bose Wave radio.
The Wave.
They had the taller one, and then
Right.
the
Well, I
flatter
had
one
the
that was like a
regular
clock
one
radio.
that wasn't tall, and you
Yeah.
plug that into your TV, and it's the best sound bar I've ever heard.
Right. Yeah.
So if you know anybody who has one, they're great sound bars.
Well, these days there are modern sound bars like the Sonos. I like
I have that.
You have Sonos?
No, I'm sorry. I have a sound bar.
Oh, right. No, Sonos makes a high-end sound bar.
Yeah.
It's like $700. Well, they've got two of them. They got a $1,000 one and like a $400 one. But my point is, that's the sound bar I tend to go to. If someone's willing to spend $400, it allows you to use your phone as a remote for all your streaming.
Wow.
So, like your Pandora.
Mm-hmm.
So it technically could replace a small stereo.
We
Even
do
though
that-
it's a
we
sound
do that
bar.
on- We do that on. We have the sound bar that we got with a Samsung
Right.
TV, Samsung sound bar,
Yeah.
and we hook up all sorts of music and everything else to it.
Right.
Off of usually Margot's pad.
Right.
How we doing?
We're pending. Installed 13%.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are you going to be doing this all day?
I don't have any house calls scheduled.
Okay. Well, I was asking, how long this takes.
It could take 10 or 20 minutes. I had one guy here. I was expecting him to get up and leave, but he waited here for like 45 minutes while one of these updates happened. It was a bigger update.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, okay, if you want to stare at me for 45 minutes.
100%, you just said.
Yeah.
So I just wondered because I remember one time I just dropped it there and you said it ran all day long on my last laptop.
Right. Oh, that might have been when your hard drive was failing.
That was it.
Right.
And then we put it in and then it died anyhow. And then I got this one.
Yeah. Well, modern computers, SSDs are theoretically more reliable, but basically a mechanical hard drive or an SSD fail in a way that looks similar. So like if this were to become very, very slow, more often than not, it's your SSD in your case, or in an older machine, it would have been the mechanical hard drive.
Well, this was PC Magazine's laptop of the year when I bought it.
It's called the Acer Swift 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked all over and I ended up buying it at Walmart, believe it or not.
Right.
And it has zero memory because I don't want it. I want it all on my hard drive, my removable hard drive.
Yeah. You just wanted something to get you online.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, let's see how big your hard drive is.
It's not very big.
Oh, it's actually so. So it's a good thing you mentioned that because I didn't even think about this. You have an extremely small drive.
Right.
Okay, so, but the reason I'm worried here.
It looks like you're getting to the end.
Yeah, you got a 64 gig hard drive, and right now it says 7.74 gigabytes free. It's quite possible rebooting this machine. Actually, specifically, these updates are going to make this a smaller number, which is a bad thing. So I didn't even think of how small your drive was, because drive space is usually pretty cheap, and most drives are at least 500 gigs. This is literally a 64 gig drive. What we ought to probably do is start dumping some of this stuff off of there.
Okay.
So it actually makes me annoyed because Windows by itself is like 40 gigs once it's all updated. So the fact that Microsoft, in their silly ways, will actually Microsoft certify this thing for Windows, even though there's barely enough room for it, is kind of mind-blowing. So Windows is probably most of this.
Right.
It's a 64 gig drive. So to my point, within a few weeks, this thing might act like it has bad hardware when really it's just full. So what happens is that you have two types of memory. You got that 8 gigs of RAM. You know what that is, right? Okay, so what that is it stores everything on the screen. So when that runs out, let's just say you had 16 gigs or 8. It's arbitrary. It doesn't matter. But once you fill up that 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, it has to be robust and not crash, it uses this empty space.
Okay.
So if that empty space is no longer available, it will crash. I've had people bring me machines and thinking their hardware is bad, and ultimately, it's a bigger issue on Apple, mainly because their system. It's a bigger issue on Apple because their iCloud is talking to all the hardware, and if you're an Apple person and you have multiple devices, it's the same cloud, and the software that Apple builds on the laptop and their desktop is not smart enough to recognize that the hardware is not, the storage capacity isn't what it needs to be. So it'll actually take all the data that's related to the phone and include it on the computer, which is totally stupid because they're causing certain hard drives that are of like 128 gigs, I think is now the smallest drive you can still buy. I'm kind of surprised this thing has a 64 gig, even if it's a few years old.
Well, you know what? I bought it knowing that, but one of the things I do is, like I said, I dump everything that seems to be big. One of the things that Margot's been using it, we use her Apple doesn't work with all the ladies that she plays golf with. Okay. And so using XL, she builds, there'll be a whole bunch of stuff of her golf. I don't think I have hardly anything in there. If you were to look at the files, it's all her golf stuff.
Well, we can go through you mean you might have some videos maybe?
No, videos I get rid of pretty quick.
Well, let's see here. We're about ready to restart. Documents. The documents aren't going to take much stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. Downloads potentially. A large number of them, but if they're just actual documents. I don't know.
There's stuff in there that I don't know about. Go back to downloads.
Okay, well, I want to see here. I'm going to right-click on that downloads folder, and it's 1 gig, 1.24 gigs. I mean, it's probably worth going through. In fact, probably just delete stuff, and that's probably sizable.
I'm afraid to touch any of that stuff because you're going to say, hey, that was a driver or something.
No, that's why you have these folders. If you work outside these folders, that's when you would worry. It's almost like you can walk in the street if you want, but if you have a sidewalk, use the sidewalk. Yeah. That's your placeholder. All right. So as long as you stay within the desktop, the documents, the downloads folder, the music folder, the pictures folder, that's why those folders are labeled that. Not just for organizational purposes, but so you don't get random. If you don't go looking for random places to store your stuff.
Okay.
So let me right-click on this desktop folder. Or you got to go to Properties. Okay, so you have basically nothing but shortcuts on the desktop. It's a 1.5 megabytes, which is nothing. So deleting your content on. Oh, it looks like your recycle bin has something in it.
Yeah, I dumped.
Okay, it's just a shortcut, a couple shortcuts. That's of nothing, and a picture, which is basically nothing. So, like I said, the bulk of your storage that's used up is probably just Windows, which is a little silly.
Well, go look back at my downloads.
Let's go to well, I think
All right.
this one, it has a fair amount of your
Yeah.
downloads folder. Let's see. It has a fair number of files.
And some of them.
It's
I
only
have
7
no-
megs. No, it's nothing.
I know,
So,
but I didn't know what they were. Because
Well-
I always try to clear out anything that could take up room.
well, that's fine. But my point is,
There is nothing that's
right, there's not a whole lot. Okay, so yeah, well, that's not giving me the detail. I want to go in here and see how big your whole profile is. So if I right click on users and go properties, that'll tell me something else. Yeah, unfortunately, what I think the biggest issue is the Windows is going to run out of space to upgrade.
So do I buy more memory?
You can. Yeah, I think you should be able to. It's a cheap part too. For $60 will give you 500 gigs.
Will I
which
lose
is,
anything by taking it out?
No, because we're not dealing with failing hardware. Because I'll be able to get the data off of the drive that's in there. I just need to make a quick check and see if this is an old SATA drive or an M2 drive.
Okay.
There's the newer technology
Yeah.
of the older. So you get the older form factor
Okay.
and the newer form factor for storage. So I have to figure out. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, the system, because your user folder is only 12 gigs. So the rest of the system is taking up the bulk of the drive.
Okay.
So you're kind of due for a new drive. Let's see here. Let's go. I'm going to have to. Let's shut this down, open it up, and see what's in there. That'll be the easiest thing to do. Shut down. Actually, I probably should have restarted. It did finish that update. It was waiting for us to restart because it had finished. All right, so let's see. This is an Acer. Let's get those fancy screws. Let's go ahead and unplug it so I don't break anything or trip over cables.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. We are going to, I gotta find the right screw driver. There we go. I just happen to have that screwdriver laying around. It's a hex, probably a T5. What is this thing? This is a
Oh, it's
T5.
God, it's small.
Yeah. But cool thing is laptops are easy to work with because the part will be staring at us as we open it up.
You want one of them little pans? I know you keep them here.
No, I'm fine. Because it's just, once I open this up, this will be all the screws. It's almost like doing an oil pan for a car. It's the same sort of labor. Same number of screws.
So you're the first person I ever knew that had the little magnetic dish
Yeah.
to put the screws in?
Yeah, I used to have a bunch of them. When
know.
I move, every time I move, I lose a few things. Of course, that's just the nature of moving. Yeah, so we're just going to do these remaining screws, open it up, and that'll visually allow me to know what is in here.
So we'll figure it out. Figure out where.
We're just going to, well, yeah, it's an Amazon purchase.
Okay.
It's going to be one of two things. I just don't want to buy the wrong one. These days, I think an M2 is pretty much industry standard across the board. This might actually be old enough to have a mechanical no, not that small.
I haven't had it that long. Well, maybe I have. Time goes by.
Right? Yeah, I know it's an SSD because they don't make mechanical drives that small. So yeah, you just got to get the spudger in. Let's see. I can't get that spudger. Just be gentle with it. Yeah. The reason that soft plastic is soft is so it doesn't damage or mar the machine. Yeah, you got to get it. You
I
see
know. I'm
what's going
looking for
on.
an edge.
Yeah, it's kind
How
of.
far should I go in? I don't want to.
You're not going to break anything. I just don't want to damage the machine. You know what? I might need a harder piece of spudger because this spudger is super soft plastic. Here, this one's a little bit harder. Yeah, people don't think about that, but these spudgers are different grades of plastic specifically so that they take the damage before they start scratching the laptop or whatever it is you're working on.
I'm kind of stupid. I use a screwdriver.
I mean, if it were my machine, I use my screwdrivers on my hardware, but I don't care if I scratch it.
Get the screwdriver. I don't
Okay.
care either.
Well, here we are.
Let me help you here.
Yeah.
Whoop,
Yeah, just
Here.
be gentle.
I am. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Sounds like you almost got it. Oh, good. Hold on. We're gonna stick the spudger under
That's
there.
what I was looking
Good.
for.
Let go.
Okay.
There.
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 Okay.
Let's unclip this thing here.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Just be gentle. It's clipped and screwed together. There.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're looking for. Ah. Okay, your drive is. Where is it? Is that the Wi-Fi card? That's the Wi-Fi right there. It looks like you got storage capacity right there, but where's the drive that's actually in there? That's weird. Where is your... Hold that.
Mm-hmm.
Your storage should be going right here.
It doesn't give you anything.
Oh, you know what? Because this thing was so inexpensive, we could put this drive we're speaking of right here, but the memory that we're looking for is built into the machine, which means it's non-removable. That's interesting. Haven't seen that in a while, but I just realized
A
how
little piece of something just fell in, right?
that was probably a clip from
Yeah.
that back panel.
Here it is, right here.
Yeah, that came off of that in your left hand, that whole back panel. So you're going to be able to. So this is what's up. Working on a laptop is fairly straightforward. Your laptop this is. It looks like the battery is the bulk of what's in here. It's literally bigger. It has a bigger footprint than the motherboard. So that just plugs in there, and then you just do the 2 or 4 screws that hold the battery in. And when your battery no longer holds a charge, you swap that out, and that would be normal to fail after 3 to 5 years.
So this is the memory we got to replace?
No, this ribbon cable is straddling the space. You see that connector underneath?
Mm-hmm. That's where that's where your
Yes. That's where an M2, just double check. Yeah, that looks like an M2. I want to make sure.
okay.
Let's see here. Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, see this cable connects these connectors over here to the rest of the machine. And this is another reason you want, plastic spudger is always preferable on the inside of the machine because that screwdriver will short circuit the board.
Circuit, I understand.
That's another reason plastic is better.
I'm holding it. So you
Good.
can do what you want.
I need to. There's a ribbon over the connector. I want to confirm that connector is what I think it is. It doesn't say M2. Oh, you know what? No, that is not an M2.
Here, let me lift that up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get too excited. That is not an M2 connector. What is that? Let's see here. Let me point the camera at that so everyone knows what my frustration is here.
Tell me when they're there.
Yeah, you're good. No, we can leave it there. The camera, that's why I love these cameras. It has an arm that allows me to articulate it and all sorts of snazzy connection. Yeah, so this is not an M2. I don't know what. So where is the memory not replaceable? That's what my worry is. This is your Wi-Fi card. I might need to, oh, that's your CPU. That's why that's all copper.
Cool it off.
Yeah, that's where all your brain is.
The big radiator, huh?
Yeah. Oh, looks like you got a BIOS reset button right there. I'm not seeing any memory, which means it's in the motherboard.
You think so?
Yeah, because you paid so little for it.
So
I mean,
why would it have all this with nothing there then?
So I don't even know what goes there. Yeah, let me make sure that's not an M2. It might be. Hold on a second. It looks a little weird. Let me see if I have an old M2 laying around. I don't know why that doesn't look like an M2. It looks like it might be, but
watch that cable on your foot.
Thanks.
I don't want you to trip.
Yeah, that's what happens when you run a studio into the workshop at the same time. That's my other microphone. Oh no, that's your
It's a charger.
that's your charger.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Do I have an M2? I think it is an M2. Let me see. This is an M2 connector. Yeah, I guess the little notch just doesn't look quite the same because you know why it's deceptive? Those pins protrude more out, more traditionally. Yours are kind of hidden under the plastic. You see, yeah, cool. Everyone gets to see on camera. This, I'm pretty sure the spacing between that notch, yeah, the number of pins I'm counting is the same. It just looks deceptive because this more traditional manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
is not what I see here.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we can buy a $60 M2 and we'll be fine.
Well, and it'll have the same holes that you have
Yes,
right there?
that's exactly. Yeah, you see how that's why. That's the other telltale
Oh,
sign.
I see. Yeah.
The mounting points for
right.
these screws
Mhm,
are the same distance, and that's what I actually thought initially, and then I saw that this was physically a little bit different. So that's why I hesitated, but we are on track. So what we're going to do is grab the data, or if you care about any data on that drive, physically it's unremovable, but we'll be able to ignore it. And in fact, I don't even have to erase it theoretically. Once I put the new drive in, we'll just avoid what's there, and then you can just drag your stuff over from the old drive.
Okay.
That'll be easy.
So what will this drive be called?
Well, it's going to be a 500 gig SSD. And what do you mean called?
I mean,
we're going to put Windows on
well,
it.
you know, like I have a thumb drive, excuse
Yeah.
me, or I have, or I plug in my removable hard drive. Will this show me a drive on there?
Yes. In fact, you're
Like an E drive
yes,
or whatever?
yes. So this will be your new C drive, and this other drive we're speaking of will be decommissioned temporarily. But you'll be, because it's so small, it won't even be practical to use because the replacement's so big. It's almost like having a 2-gallon gas tank in a car when you already have 100 gallons. Are you ever going to touch that 2-gallon tank?
No.
Right. Your primary tank is 100 gallons. Why would you need a?
So
Yeah.
So the upgrades
Right.
will happen now without any problem.
We're not even done with the updates. It's quite possible.
No, when you put that in.
Oh, yeah,
you have
yeah.
Enough room for it.
Oh, right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Theoretically, because we didn't even finish these updates, you could theoretically disable the machine by finishing the updates, totally clobbering what's left of this drive. So yeah, let's just put this back.
Okay.
So this cable we have in our hand is just
Here we
a
go.
connector for that USB cable. That's it. That's that USB connector. All right. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people. I've walked my way out of a lot of work sometimes. Sometimes people don't come back to me because once they see how straightforward some of these laptops are put together, it's like, oh, I could do that. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's just like, hey, there we go.
No,
So power,
no, this is-
the panel. Where's
You know, you got to know your limits.
yeah, right. I mean, I've done certain things on my cars, but I've never torn an engine apart. But I've done all the accessories. So yeah, I
I
get
just
that.
put LED lights, headlights in.
Yeah,
It's a long story, but they work.
yeah, cool. So let's see your.
Panel?
Yeah, why is it such a long story?
Oh, okay. Well, here.
Yeah,
here's
go
what I
ahead.
did.
Here,
All right.
here, you hold the microphone.
All right.
You can. I'll put this
Here,
together.
let me get this around you.
Yeah,
All right. My Volvo
yeah.
is 17 years old. It's a
Oh yeah, you
2006.
still got that wagon.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks and acts like a brand new car because I keep it in the garage and I do everything you're supposed to do to a car.
Right.
But I didn't like the way the headlights were because in the rain, the asphalt and everything
Yeah.
is kind of, you can't see the marks on the road.
Right.
So I looked online to see what I could do about changing the bulbs to LED. So I put them in, and the first thing that happened, they work great.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is on my car computer, I forgot, there's a name for that computer that's in a car.
Yeah, the ECU or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said, you have a fault, your headlights are out.
Right.
Okay, because it's drawing so little amps.
Oh, right. Yeah,
It's
the amperage,
based on
yeah.
it's based on the amperage.
Yeah.
So on the Volvo, on your right hand shift clicker, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
there's a information thing. You just hit
Yeah.
that and it all goes away.
Right.
So when I start my car, it says I have a fault. The yellow light comes on. I hit that button and it all goes away.
Right.
The reason I didn't put in a 5-amp fuse like they said to put in,
It's a resistor fuse, right?
Right. You
Yeah,
put that
to
across.
increase the amperage, right?
you increase the amperage and then it thinks, oh, it's got light bulbs again.
Right.
But the bad part about it is they get really hot and you could have a fire.
Ah, right.
So my finger is going to keep hitting that little button forever because I just don't want a car fire.
yeah.
You know, it'd be nice to be
No,
headed.
I had one of my cars. I did that, and what I noticed is that it was a turn signal light, and the turn signal was almost like a machine gun because it went from click, click,
Oh,
click
yeah.
to like. So I mean, it was so fast you could barely tell it was a blinker. So
So I had the same problem when I was doing that.
yeah,
On the right hand side, the blinker was failing. It
Yeah.
went blink, 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 blink. I went over there and somehow I hit the wire that locks in the light bulb to the
Yeah.
power, twisted it, tried it again, it was gone. So you
Got
gotta
it.
you gotta check because they usually they twist in
Uh-huh.
all the lights on a car.
Yeah.
Some of them are bayonets. They just have little prongs you slide it in, but
Yeah.
like a fuse. But most of them are a twist on.
Right.
And so I'm real proud of myself that I can see where I'm going now, and I'm burning out old people's eyeballs that have cataracts. So there you go.
Right.
I know. Everybody I know that's getting cataracts now is going, oh, those new LEDs are blinding me.
Yeah.
And I'm just on the edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
But still I can see pretty good at night.
Yeah, been pretty lucky.
Well, if you spend a lot of time sailing on a sailboat, you might get them young.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know anybody who sailed a lot?
Well, I
I know I'm messing.
yeah, I
I'm
know
messing
you're
with
messing
you
with me because I spent most of my 20s.
on a sailboat,
Yeah.
and I spent
And
my
the
life.
first half of my
And I
30s
spent
too.
my life surfing. So
Right. Yeah, but you know what they say, if you want to prolong good eyesight, delay getting glasses as much as you can, or like don't wear them 24 hours or as often as you, because that muscle,
right.
you want to keep your eyes active by moving
yeah.
around.
But you know what? I've been in glasses since I was 40, and now I'm 75.
Got
It
it.
doesn't bother me.
Got it. So now we're going to turn it on and finish these updates anyway. Not that we need to because we already know what we want.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to do this. In fact, let's do this. Let me change. Go ahead and keep holding that microphone
Okay.
for me. Let's do shoulder cam. Let's do screen capture. There we go. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to Amazon. Okay, we're just going to do a search for an M2, what we've been talking about.
And M2 means memory 2.
Well, M2 is the technology for what we need.
Well, I didn't know if there's different M2s. That's what I was asking.
Oh, okay, well, they come in different sizes. M2 is the format.
Right.
It's like I'm trying to think of an automotive technology, but
No, I understand.
yeah, it's the physical form factor. So there we are. So we're going to do Samsung just because that's my favorite go-to brand. There we go. We don't need, no, we're not spending $185 for a 2 terabyte drive. You don't need that. So there's a 1 terabyte for 90. But again, you still don't need that. We can do maybe, do they have a 500? Let's see if we click on this, if they have it in different sizes. Oh, yeah, see? I purchased this particular model 13 times. There we go. 500 is only 50 bucks.
All right.
There we go.
You mean we were going to put a 200-gallon gas tank in it?
Yeah, you don't need a 2 terabyte for $185. Hey, I do it all the time, but those are gamers. You don't need that. So yeah, actually, wow, that's interesting. $47 for a 250. You could double it for another $2.
Double it.
Yeah. So 500 gig, 50 bucks.
Okay.
There we go. So I can either purchase this or you can purchase it. Doesn't matter.
Go ahead and purchase it, and I'll pay you.
Cool. So with tax.
And it'll be delivered to you, and you can just throw it in.
Oh, free delivery today? Look at this.
Hurry!
Yeah.
Buy it!
Add to cart. All right.
Do you have Prime?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, let me change my view. I'm live and I'm sharing the screen. I don't want everyone to see my technical details. Full set talking head. There we are. No, we can stay right there. Here. I'm still trying to figure out how to be the broadcaster I never was. So,
You'll get good.
yeah.
It just takes time.
That's why I keep doing it on the fly. It's like, screw it. Let's just go live. Screw the mistakes. Don't be too insecure. All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So now proceed. This is where I think some of my numbers and private data might show up. Okay. Good. Proceed to checkout. All right. Let's type your name. Holt. There we go. I guess it's not populating any identifiers yet. So, there we go. $55. 54.74.
What a deal.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I gotta change my pay. I just lost my debit card yesterday. I gotta make sure. I'm glad I paid that attention. My order. That's not gonna work. Oh, you know what? That card. I don't know if the new
You
card's
gotta
gonna be.
prime.
I don't know if that card that I canceled yesterday is gonna have a different number. Let me do. No, you know what? It'll be good if I have to.
If you have a problem with it, send it to Margot
Yeah.
because it's primes in her name.
Yeah, all right. No, that's not a big deal. No, I haven't lost my debit. I walked away from the ATM yesterday prematurely, and it sucked in the card. And then they said that the machine doesn't give a card back. So
That's true.
they said,
It's
"Well,
for your own good.
Yeah, 24 hours later.
It's for your own good.
Yeah, no, I walked into the branch and was hoping they'd have access to the back side of the machine, but they used to, because I made that mistake in the past.
No,
But anyway.
You know, it raises hell when he says, ding, 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 take your card,
Yeah. No, I was working as a sole proprietor. I got a text and a phone call at the same time. Type your password.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good. So now let's do
What
your
is that?
Evernote. You installed that at some point.
Oh, I didn't install it. It showed up one day.
Well, it probably was freeware. It came with the machine then.
No, it was never there. All
Well,
of a
you
sudden,
clicked
this
on
is-
something that installed it.
Okay.
I have no idea
Me
from
too.
where.
Me too.
It's called freeware, trialware, whatever.
Oh.
Shareware is the word they used to use in the 90s.
Well, it like, what is this? Yeah, because it keeps on popping up, and I don't want it.
Got it. Yeah, you can YouTube. You can go to YouTube and watch this video if you want.
Okay,
Yeah,
giving you some juice here. There you
I
go.
don't think we need it.
No.
Oh yeah, but we are pending. You know what? One of the reasons these updates are taking a while is probably because it's doing some house cleaning so that it physically can,
Okay.
because it has so little space left.
Okay.
So technically, this is sort of a moot situation because we're already going to just walk away from what we've got.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have a failed hardware. We're just going to put it in an M2, leave the default built in to the motherboard memory, and just reinstall Windows.
All right.
So, yeah.
I've had. Am I wrong? I had people say I'm having difficulties with 11.
It's cosmetically slightly different.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Then-
another version of Windows.
Yeah.
But Microsoft engineers, in their insecurities, they decided that since the start menu has been here since 1995, I think they're afraid of looking like they're not as fun anymore. So they figured they'd piss everyone off over the age of 40 and move that button a little third of the way over, so it's sort of towards the middle of the screen. You know how people get insecure. Oh, well, if we don't change it, they'll think we're yesterday's news. So they moved the start button. It's been in the far left corner since 1995, and suddenly last year they decided, oh, well, let's move it so that we look like we're young and hip, so that the millennials don't think we're old and tired.
Okay. But the one that always, when I was working before I retired, that always pissed me off is when they change Office or Excel.
Right.
It drove me crazy.
Yeah.
When Excel got changed, it was just like I couldn't find anything. They hid it all these. Oh man, they hid all these things from me.
Yeah.
So I had to go ask the young engineers that just got out of college, where'd they hide that?
Right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're just doing this update. Yeah, these updates would normally happen a little faster, I think, because this machine's slower because it's 80 or 90% full.
Well, you probably have that M2 by tomorrow.
No, it said today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you want me to just come by later today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you shoot me a text saying,
Yeah.
the world is a better place, and I'll
Yeah.
be over.
All right. Yeah. I'm guessing they're. Yeah. It's because
when my computer's good, the world is a better place.
Yeah. All right. Well, that part is basically, I guess they're calling it a commodity, so it's so available that you can get it the same day.
Wow.
Actually, because they hold, you know what it is that they own Whole Foods,
Yeah.
and Whole Foods is down the street.
Right.
So that's a pickup center. They're probably going to get it delivered there, and then they're going to drive it over here.
Well, I've been buying things, like the headlights and different things, and I've
Yeah.
been buying on there. And what's weird is you can get something like within hours because they're using a supplier, somebody that has an office somewhere that has a whole bunch of them.
Right.
You know,
Oh yeah.
like Crocs for
Right.
your feet.
Yeah.
Just, it's weird how that works.
Yeah.
But with Christmas, you can't believe how much stuff you can't find.
Oh, Amazon has it all. I just bought actually, I didn't buy a mirror. I don't like to park here on PCH because of how close the traffic comes. So I learned the hard way, but not really the hard way. My mirror got swiped.
Oh,
So thankfully it was a $50 mirror. But of course, if they're so close that they're going to take my mirror out, now I'm chicken and I park over on Nob Hill, which is a block away, but it's a much broader street. So the distance between the parked cars and the moving traffic is a lot greater.
I'm just like a half a building away.
Yeah.
But I hate parking, like you said, on PCH. We'll go over to Cozy's to get something to eat.
Right.
And I sit in my car until there's no more cars.
Right.
Then I open the
yeah.
door.
No,
Yeah.
it is literally a dangerous experience getting in and out of your car.
Yeah.
So actually, I saw there's a YouTube video of an Uber where the the passenger opens up without looking and the door gets taken out. It's like, oh man. And I can't believe how sane the driver is. Dude, you gotta watch. You gotta pay attention, dude. It's like, yeah, you just destroyed the car because that's almost a total loss. I don't know if that's even repairable. The door gets yanked forward.
Oh, it can be, but.
Yeah, that car's never the same. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. And,
Cool. Do you want to leave this here?
Yeah, just call
Cool.
me.
Yeah.
Just call me.
Cool.
And I'll be there, and what is it, 5-10 minutes from
Yeah.
there? All right.
Yeah. I don't even know what time that's coming. It's been a while since I've
Well, you know
seen
what?
it.
It's Margot's birthday today, so I'm taking her out to dinner. So.
Oh, all right. Happy
so
birthday.
We're going to be leaving early in the afternoon to go over.
Happy birthday, Margot.
Happy birthday, Margot.
All right. Cool. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look at our video today, too.
Yeah. That's why I said, yeah, I'll send you the video.
Okay.
I'll text it to you.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Maybe in a couple hours.
Okay.
All right. Actually, in the Amazon
So you don't have, the place is empty today, huh? No, nothing?
today.
Yeah.
Well, the end of the week's usually slow anyway.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the last 2 or 3 days I spent with one customer specifically because their Wi-Fi was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But so I just got paid for that. But I wasn't able to do a whole lot here.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's busiest Monday, and then it tapers off, and then Sunday just turns out to be a natural day off.
Do you have a lot of home calls now?
It's half the work or more.
Stereos or TVs?
Oh, it's all no. Well, I did a TV last week, I guess.
Yeah.
That mount was a piece of junk. I went to yank on it to make sure it was safe, and it broke off in my hand.
Oh.
Yeah. But the good news is I have them laying around, which is much more hefty.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now I know. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So you can mount. Their TV was probably like this size that I'm using to do my work here. Basically, you want to. Someone's typing some weird stuff on the chat. I was reading it. Their TV was just a little bit bigger than this, but their mount was a singular articulating mount arm, and it wasn't like if we had an earthquake, that TV would have come down. So I'm glad I yanked on it, broke the mount, and then they're laid back. They didn't give me any grief over it. But the fact is, I yanked on it to make sure it was safe, and I removed it, put in a bigger mount, and now they're happy because the mount is 4 times better because it's got 2
Where'd you
arms.
get it?
Oh, online,
Okay.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, I intend to stick with the traditional.
They've been having problems with the ones at Costco, believe it or not.
Well, they bought that one in Costco.
Well, I bought one in Costco in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Mounted it to
Right.
our wall in Hawaii, and all I did was get a bunch of things saying it could fall off the wall. So I grabbed it and pulled on it, jerked it around, it didn't
Yeah.
fall off the wall. I said, it's good.
Well, that's exactly my point. I want to make sure I get at least one stud. I yank on it, but apparently the yank that I did was enough to be the 50-pound limitation. So I broke it because I just manhandled it and it fell off. It broke right at the wall. The mount part was still stuck on the wall.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right.
Call.
Cool.
I see your new mic ready to go.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks. What is this?
You know what? I'm going to leave this with you too.
All right,
When
that
we're
works.
Done, we're done.
All right, just put it on that chair. I'll figure out where to put it.
I'll take the ugly mouse with me.
Got it.
All right.
Are you good? I got some interesting visitors or bots in the chat today. Anyway, another conversation with a customer. He's a family friend, Holt. This is the sort of conversation you like to eavesdrop on. Show up in the YouTube chat. Be a part of it. 855-434-8787. If I'm not staring at someone here at the shop, I'll have that phone call with you. Subscribe if you want to see when I go live. Hit that notification bell so you can see exactly when I go live. That's exactly what this YouTube channel is about. Everything I do is live. I don't edit much unless something drastic happens and something private shouldn't be allowed public, then so be it. But anyway, it does not generally include any content that's highly edited. It's just live content, and this channel is really inviting you to show up in the chat or give me that phone call at 855-434-8787. Have a nice day.